Tally Court, Pearson and Oxford.
Hi everyone, so this is Emily and she is an intern with the secondary English department. She has an editorial role and she splits her time between Oxford and the London office. Hi Emily!
Hello!
So can you tell us a little bit about what's on your desk?
I can. The first thing I always have on my desk is a manuscript. So part of my job is reading manuscripts that we have in from authors and writing reports on what I think about them.
So we're here with Sheila, who's working as an editorial intern with the secondary maths team. Hi Sheila.
Hi Tabs.
So what's on your desk?
What's on my desk? Well, I always have these GCSE textbooks here. What I'm working on right now is actually not textbooks, it's an online project called ActiveLearn. But I need these textbooks because I'm taking some of these questions and modifying it for the online templates. I'm changing the context, changing the numbers so that they are testing similar concepts, but they're inherently different questions.
Hi, so we have Tabs here with us today and Tabs is working with the MEAC division. Do you want to explain a little bit more about your role?
MEAC stands for Middle East, Africa and Caribbean. So the team I'm working with produce primary school and secondary school resources for the Middle East, but also things for international schools, so things like International Baccalaureate, IGCSE books. So it's a huge range and I've been really lucky because I've got to do loads of different things.
This is a manuscript that we've already bought, so I'm reading it just to offer my advice on what to feed back to the author to change for when they publish it. And we have development editing meetings when we all discuss what we think about the book. Actually this one's a play, but we talk about what needs to be changing and how we can teach it to kids in the classroom because they are educational texts.
Okay, so can I ask, like, what kind of manuscript is this? Like, is it for school
This
kids?
one is part of the Heroes series. It's called Already Dead, and it's about zombies. And the Heroes series is targeted at young boys about 10 to 13, and for reluctant readers, so they're all very boysy, they're kind of about zombies and violence and technological stuff.
So reaching out to a different audience?
We're doing our best.
Okay.
I sometimes have this placard of proofreading marks. So a lot of the marks that editors use to mark up manuscripts, they're all standardized so that it doesn't matter, you know, if you're a freelance editor or if you're an in-house editor, you understand each other's notations and corrections. So these are really important, especially if you're doing editorial work. I also always have a red pen and a blue pen on my desk. The red pen I use to mark up mistakes that have been made by external typesetters or proofreaders, and the blue pen I use to indicate corrections that need to be made as a result of mistakes made by either myself or my colleagues at Pearson Education. So it just gives you an idea of, you know, who's making more mistakes, how much should you really charge external typesetters if they're the ones that are making more of the careless mistakes.
My main project is this baby. It's an activity guide for the Jamboree series, which has been publishing and it's really successful in sort of the Middle East area. And my project is to get this translated into Arabic, so we have an Arabic activity guide. It doesn't mean I do the translating, it means, you know, I've found a translator, I've sort of booked them for the contract, I've sent them a brief, negotiated their pay, made sure they're happy and they're on schedule. It's really interesting, but obviously it means I spend a lot of time waiting for them to get back to me, so they've given me loads of other work to do.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us? I see you have some books there, which isn't surprising for a publishing intern.
Yeah, some of the other work I do here, these manuscripts we normally commission from authors, but sometimes we actually buy books from other publishers.
Okay.
So this one is a book that we've bought from Orion, and this is available in bookshops like Waterstones and W.H. Smith and stuff like that. And we've bought the educational rights for it, which means that we can republish it and sell it to schools. So I normally have one of these books on my desk, whatever the book is, and I copy edit the manuscript so that it's appropriate for schools. So sometimes I will highlight words that are too difficult for our target audience and we'll put a little definition at the bottom of the page. Sometimes I flag up when there's swear words in which teachers don't want in their books. So yeah, I always have this as a reference for when I'm working. And then the book that we will make is the same book as this one. We'll give it a different cover. We'll normally give it a hardback cover so you can use them in the classroom. And yeah, so this is our educational version, and we can only sell this to schools. We can't sell this in bookshops.
I see. Can you show us some of the supplementary information? Because you mentioned that.
Yes, we
You
have a
could
lot
use
of
that.
activities at the back for use in classroom, as you can see there. Some fun decoding things for boys to do in the classroom.
So I've got headphones here because I have to do a lot of proofreading. Obviously, I'm an editorial intern, but I also have to proof CDs, which is kind of like video games testing, but with 5-year-old CD-ROMs. It's interesting, but it means I get to have very official-looking headphones and spend a lot of time wondering about pronunciation. And then I've got a lot of paperwork as well, because I get to do things like checking contracts, chasing up authors who haven't returned their contracts, going through sort of publishing proposals, making sure that's all on track. So it's really interesting. They've given me like a variety of things to do.
I also always have a cup of tea, and right now I have Earl Grey. Tea and coffee is free at Pearson Education, which is great, and it's just nice to have something to sip out when you're doing.
Oh, the puppet's just here because he's quite cute, and I quite like
He is
him.
very cute.
He's part of the Jamboree series, so I've been doing a little bit of marketing for them as well. So writing blurbs for their website, creating videos which are embarrassingly now up on YouTube, but he sort of features in them, which is quite cool.
And then the last thing that I always have on my desk is my notebook, because my mentor from my last job, the first piece of advice she gave me, and she said it's the most important thing when you're starting out in a job, is to always have a notebook, because it makes you look more clever. But also it does come in useful all the time. I'm always making notes. I've pretty much used up the whole of this book over the last 6 weeks, and it's been very useful for me. So I'd always say, carry a notebook with you.
What do you enjoy most about your role, Tabs?
I really like the variety. I mean, I've really lucked out with my team because we do so much, and I think they trust me with my work now because I've been here 6 weeks, so every time they have something quite interesting and finicky to do, they're like, Tabs, you can do this! And it worked out really well because I have so many different interesting things.
Given that you've just graduated with an English degree, well done, how are you finding working with the maths team?
Well, I'm really enjoying it because I like learning new things. It's important if you want to go into publishing to keep an open mind as to where you might be posted, because you need to have transferable skills. You need to show that you're enthusiastic about taking on any kind of subject.
What advice would you have for anyone who wants to stay on after the internship?
Well, you're going to hear this a lot, and people are going to emphasize networking. I think it's really important to branch out of your own division, talk to people, especially senior managers, and get them interested into like who you are and what you do, because they'll remember you if you make a good impression, and hopefully they'll be able to notify you of opportunities that come up, because a lot of positions aren't necessarily very widely advertised. So it's good to make contacts, it's good to be positive, and of course do your work well on the internship.
If you have any more questions about any of this, so if you want to find out more about the internship, about what it's like to be an editorial intern, about Pearson or the Diversity Summer Internship program, please just get in touch with us. We're all on Twitter and LinkedIn, and our details should be on screen right about now. So yeah, if you have any questions, just get in touch and we'll help in any way we can.